Right, okay guys, welcome to the Friday Waffle. I'm actually recording this really early on a Friday. It's only 10:30 in the morning, and the reason being is I'm actually on holiday. I've got quite a few days that I never got to use last year, so I can't really afford to take a week off as such. Not that I really want to do that. Excuse me, but so I'm just going to take Fridays off, which is good because it just means you've only got a 4-day week. So I've got peace and quiet. I thought I'll just record this downstairs. My daughter's at school, although she finishes at 12:20, so I don't get much peace to myself. And my wife's at work as well. So yeah, I hope you're all having a decent week. Weather-wise, it's snow. We've had quite a bit of snow the last couple of days. And as is the case in the UK, you get about 2-3 inches of snow and the whole country grinds to a standstill. It's just ridiculous. I mean, they forecast it, and yet when it happens, the place just goes to shit. So, aye. So I've not been up to a great deal. Have I been playing any games? I've not had my PS4 on for quite a few weeks. I can't think I've been playing very much at all. I've been actually pretty busy at night making videos. I was getting to a stage where I was kind of starting to get a bit low on old video count, so I've been making quite a few videos to kind of stockpile them. So yeah, there's plenty of stuff coming out. I've just got a few things. I've got a couple of pages of questions from you guys, which is always wonderful. The first thing I want to talk about, it's my mate Dave, One Boys Post 1975. He put out a video talking about the change in policy that YouTube have done regarding smaller channels and when you can monetize them. Now what I'll do is I'll put a link to Dave's video down below. Go and check him out. Dave's got an amazing channel, really good. And what I wasn't really aware of this because I don't monetize my channel, so I wasn't really aware of it, but I'll just read out what they said here. In an effort to regain advertisers' trust, Google is announcing what it says are tough but necessary changes to YouTube monetization. For one thing, it's setting a higher bar for the YouTube Partner Program, which is what allows publishers to make money through advertising. Previously, they needed 10,000 total views to join the program. Starting today, channels also need to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of view time in the past year. For now, those are just requirements to join the program, but Google says it will start applying them to the current partners on February 20. This might assure marketers that their ads are less likely to run in random fly-by-night channels, but as Google's Paul Mullet writes, of course, size alone is not enough to determine whether a channel is suitable for advertising. Well, yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you've all heard about the, I can't even remember the name of the guy, Logan Paul, is it? I think it is. Sorry, I've got a spot in my head. I don't know where that came from. I thought I was past getting spots when I turned 16 years old, but don't look at it. Yeah, Logan Paul, the guy, the young boy that went into the suicide forest in Japan and decided to record a poor guy hanging. I think he's been absolutely crucified on the internet. I mean, I'm talking crucified. I think has his channel been taken down as well? I do think the reaction has been slightly over the top. I mean, you'd think the guy had murdered somebody, the way, you know, some of the press are going on about it. But yeah, what that guy's saying there is, just because you're a big channel doesn't mean that you're going to put out a sort of family friendly content. But yeah, so basically to monetize your channel, you're going to have at least 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of view time in the past year, so you're going to have to wait. Yeah, basically what that's going to mean is, unless you're some channel that puts out, I was going to say Minecraft, is Minecraft even a thing anymore? I don't know, you never really see people talking about Minecraft. Even my daughter was a massive Minecraft fan, but she's kind of moved away from it. But basically what it means is, yeah, you're going to have to wait until you get 1,000 subscribers. Now in the case of me, that would have been I would have to have waited about 2.5 years to get to that stage. I mean, some channels grow a lot quicker than others. I mean, there's a certain retro channel that's with a female, and I've got to say she does put out good content, but she's only been going, I don't know what, not even a year, and I think she's up to like 3,000 subscribers. Yeah, videos are good, but it's a wee bit, it feels like a bit of a kick in the balls to some people when they've taken, you know, years and years and years to try and accrue subscribers, and then you get a channel coming along and getting all these subscribers in a very short space of time. But she does put out great videos, but there's also a couple of other things that appeals to a lot of people, which you can probably guess. But you know, she has got a good channel, so I'm not dissing her for getting subscribers very quickly. But yeah, it is for male people trying to get subscribers as quick as that, it's going to take a bit longer. But anyway, back on track. Yeah, it would have taken me about 2.5 years to get to 1,000 subscribers. Now, is that a good or a bad thing? The thing is, there's been quite a bit of a reaction in YouTube. A lot of people, you know, that's shite, I'm not going to bother doing it. I was going to start up a channel, and now I'm not going to bother because I can't make money. But here's the reality, guys. To make any decent living on YouTube, you're probably looking at, I don't know, maybe several 100,000 subscribers. I read somewhere that roughly, to kind of get a rough idea on how much you make, it's got nothing to do with subscribers, nothing at all. It's to do with your number of views. Now, I read somewhere for every 1,000 views you're looking at about $1 that you're making. Now, so far, I think my views since I started about 4 years ago, it's about 370,000 views. So based on $1 for 1,000 views, I would have made the combined total of about $375 for 4 years' work. That is not a sustainable income. So the point I'm trying to make is, the people that this is going to affect, the money you're talking about is absolutely minuscule. Minuscule. Now, I know Dave, he made a good point. If you started a channel and you monetized it, you know, fairly early on, and you're making a few quid, it does seem a bit shit from Google to suddenly take that away from you, because you know you've gone in, you've made your channel, you're making content for people to enjoy, you're making a wee bit of money, then to suddenly have that taken away does seem very unfair. Why? I don't understand why they would do that. Why would you remove that person's ability to make money? I don't really get it. But the point I'm trying to make here is, to make a living on YouTube, you need to have big numbers. You need to have a lot of views. You know, you need to have millions of views to make anything. So even a channel my size, I mean, I'm a very, very small channel. I think I worked out, I don't know, I'd make about maybe, probably not even 20 quid a month. So for that in mind, 20 quid a month's not going to be, it's not going to change my life. So it's not going to change my life in any shape or form. So with them implementing that, it isn't going to really, it's not going to affect somebody's standard of living. I do feel sorry for people who have got channels and have been monetizing it, and now they're going to lose that money. But the people that are moaning about, they were thinking about starting a channel and now they're not going to because they're not going to be able to monetize their videos. Well guys, the reality is you'll be making pennies, absolute pennies. So, you know, I always say never ever start a YouTube channel to make money, because it's not going to happen. It isn't going to happen. I mean, if you're very, very lucky, then you know you might get success. But here's the reality. This, if you're watching my channel, and if you're watching this video, then you're obviously watching my channel. The content that I talk about, the content that all my kind of YouTube mates, you know, Dave included, Lawn Boys post, the content that they all put out is not, it's very, very niche. It will never ever be big. You know, there's never going to be a living me talking about this kind of thing. If you want to make money in YouTube, you're going to have to, I don't know, do these vlogs, and you're going to have to talk about, you need to be probably 20 years old, because I always think the target market, the market that's out there for YouTube are probably people my daughter's age, 14, 15 years old, teenagers. They're the guys that watch YouTube. They're not interested in watching somebody like myself, some old bloke, old Scottish guy talking about games for 40 years ago. You know, that's why if I look at my analytics in YouTube, I think I'm something like 97% male watch my channel, and I think it's like 30 to 40 years old tends to be my the people that watch it. I do not expect, if there was a teenage girl watching my channel, I'd be very, very surprised. I would be thinking, why? I mean, don't get me wrong, there are probably teenage girls out there that enjoy, that have got an interest in you know, the old video games, and I'd like to think that I bring something to that. I mean, I talk about old systems, and you know, but yeah, I mean, it's, you know, at the end of the day, who is it said? There was one of the guys, is it Wouter, I think it is, the Highlander. He made a comment. He says, at the end of the day, YouTube is a free service. We don't pay for it. So I don't think you've really got any basis to complain too much about it. Yeah, we can all complain. We can complain about the weather. We can complain about the government. We're all entitled to complain about things. That's your right. As a, you know, as an individual, you're entitled to complain about things. But given YouTube is free, you don't pay for it, then what can you do about it? There's not really, well, in fact there is, there's nothing you can do about it. YouTube don't care. I mean, there are so many millions of channels out there. If you decide you're going to throw your toys at the pram and not produce content because you can't monetize your videos, there's YouTube aren't interested. But yeah, I do think it's a bit wanky for them to do what they're doing. Why have criteria? I don't get it. Why should you have a certain criteria? I mean, surely if your videos are getting watched, then YouTube are going to make money out of it, regardless of whether you've got 1 or 1 million subscribers. If your videos are getting watched and there's adverts on it, then YouTube are still making money. So why don't they pass that money on to the YouTube creator? As that guy says there, just because you're a big channel doesn't mean you're any less likely to have content that's inappropriate. Maybe there is. I mean, it's the easiest thing in the world to go onto YouTube, create a channel, and you could put out some ridiculous, you know, some video that contains inappropriate nudity or something, whatever. I don't know, but I'm not an expert, guys. But like I said, I don't monetize my channel. If I thought I could make a couple £100 a month, I would. You know, that would be silly to not do that, because I mean, at the end of the day, I do put a lot of time and effort into making the channel, but I do it for me. I do it because I enjoy it, and I also get a great deal of satisfaction out of other people watching it. And you know, a few of you guys seem to enjoy what I do, so that to me is payment enough. But if I thought I could make good money out of YouTube, I would do it, but I don't, and that's why I don't, or I can't, so that's why I don't bother monetizing it, because the money is shit. And as for the Patreon thing, I don't have an issue with Patreon. Patreon's a thing. If people want to pay me, or not, people want to pay a YouTube creator money to watch their channel, that's up to them, that's entirely up to them. At the end of the day, I do this for free. I don't charge anybody for watching my videos. You know, a few people in the past have said they want to give me something, and a few people have given me money, which I've then subsequently passed on to charity, because I personally don't have any interest in gaining money from it at all. I would certainly never go down the route of charging people for content. But anyway, I'm kind of going off topic. That's my thoughts on it. YouTube is a free service. I don't think we've got a lot of ground to really complain about it too much, because it's a free service. So if you're paying money for it, then that's fine. I do think it's a bit shitty that you've got to have a certain number of subscribers, you've got to have a certain number of hours watched to make any money. Why do that? I don't really understand it. But again, if you're thinking about getting into YouTube to make money, then I would have a reality check. I would recommend you don't do it. Don't do this for money. There's no money to be made. You know, there must be millions of channels out there, and there's probably 0.01% make any money out of it. You know, make a living out of it. But yeah, that is enough on the YouTube thing. I was recording a video earlier on one of my magazine video things. Hang on a second. And there was an advert for the PCW show, which was personal computing. What was it? PCW? Personal computer. PCW? Personal computer? I don't know what it stood for. It was a personal computer show, and it was down in Earl's Court in London. And yeah, I just want to talk for a few minutes about these shows. Living up in Scotland, there was never a great deal of computer shows. I mean, I think there was one in Livingston, and it was what was called a micro fair. Basically, people took along, programmers would go along, they'd get a trestle table, they would put out a few games that they'd written, and you could buy them for a $5 a pop. You know, they're little micro shows sort of thing. No pun intended. I mean, when I mean micro, I mean small, tiny little shows where you could see people, you know, they'd take along the computer games, you could buy joysticks and that kind of stuff. But there was really nothing like that where I stayed. If I wanted to go to any of the big computer shows, I had to go down to London. So a couple of times, I think me and my mate, we went down to the one in 1987, and I think we also went down to the one in 1988. And yeah, it was an experience. I mean, we would get the bus about midnight in Edinburgh and drive down, and it was always quite exciting. You know, you'd get down there, you would stop on the motorway services, you would get yourself something to eat, you would play a few video games. I mean, they still had video games in service stations at that point, and you'd get down there. And I remember arriving in is it Victoria Victoria bus station. I can't even remember whereabout it is, but I remember getting down there about 6 o'clock in the morning, and it was, I remember it was freezing, really cold, and we made our way to, I think we got a coffee or something, then we made our way to Earl's Court, and we were there for about 7 o'clock in the morning, and we were basically standing outside waiting for this thing to open. I think it opened about 9 o'clock in the morning. I remember if you had a press pass, then you could get in early, but we didn't have that. You know, we were just punters, regular punters. And eventually we got in, and it was magical. It was really magical because, you know, this was before the internet. So the only exposure we got to like video games and, you know, video game companies, it was computer magazines, you know, reading computer magazines, and it was quite exciting. It was quite surreal actually going along to one of these shows, and there was like Ocean Software, you know, the big banner Ocean Software. This was something I'd only seen in a magazine, and so be able to see it firsthand, you know, these companies, and the games that they were selling, it was something quite special. And yeah, there was loads of different companies. I mean, all the big companies back in the 80s were there. And, you know, on the odd occasion you'd see celebrities. I don't think I ever saw Jeff Minter. I mean, I know Jeff Minter used to go to these, but I don't recall ever seeing Jeff at any one of these. What I will do actually is, Jeff recorded, it was a computer show, I don't know what one it was certainly one of these computer shows, Earl's Court. I'll put a wee link up above to the video. It's actually quite interesting. It's like a camcorder footage from whenever it was. But yeah, it was great. I mean, obviously at these shows you could talk to the guys, the programmers, you could buy the games, and more importantly you could get to play them. So you got to play games before they were released. Excuse me. And I remember being at one of them, and the Zap 64 guys were there, Julian Rignall, Guy Liddon, Gary Penn, they were all there. And I remember seeing them, and it was like, wow, you know, they're there. But I was too nervous. I didn't want to go up and talk to them. I mean, you couldn't get near the stand anyway. It was absolutely bursting with people. But just being able to see these people in real life was exciting. And this one show in 1988, I just got my Commodore Amiga, and you know, we'd had enough. We'd been round all the stalls, and we thought, hey, let's get going. And we'd made our way back to the bus, and I think the bus, sorry, I've got an eyelash in my eye or something. Something's annoying me. We got back in the bus. I think we had to hang about the bus station till about midnight or something. It was something ridiculous like that. We got in the bus, and we were waiting for the bus to take off, to leave. And this guy got in the bus. In fact, it was a guy that he was quite a bit older than me at that point. I mean, I would be 20, he would be mid-40s. And we'd actually met him outside Earl's Court before we went in, and we got talking to him, and this guy had come down for Kirkcaldy. You know, we'd never met the guy before, and he'd come down for Kirkcaldy, and we blared away to him, and that was it. And then we went in, we, you know, did our own thing. But when I got back in the bus, this guy got back on the bus as well, and he was clutching it was the Commodore Amiga pack, and it had Interceptor, the EA game. And I remember saying, oh, that game's amazing, it's a fantastic game. And then before long, I mentioned about how I had a lot of pirated games. So we swapped phone numbers. This was before mobile phones was a thing. We swapped mobile phone, we swapped landline phone numbers. And then we met up. I used to drive through to his house every couple of Sundays, and he would come through to my bit, and we would play video games, we'd swap games. And lo and behold, we kept in touch, and he came along to my first wedding. And he ended up getting together with my mate's mum. And to this day, 40 years on or 30 years on, I still see the guy. He is now him and my mate's mum married. So this guy is now my mate's stepdad. So I'm still in touch with him. I mean, you know, so there was a real life thing happened because of my love of computers. But yeah, the computer shows were great. I went to a couple of them, like I said. Both of them were at Earl's Court. Really good fun. I mean, they were, you know, you didn't have the internet, so other than magazines, this was the only chance you had to actually see software companies, games, previews of games, you know, before they were released. So they were a brilliant thing. I mean, you've got your playback pools and that kind of thing now. I don't think the excitement's not there. I do enjoy these play events, but they're not the same. Things have changed so much now, you know, with the advent of internet and that kind of stuff. But I love the computer shows. They were really, really good. I've got a lot of fond memories from them. Right, okay, question time. Excuse me. Lurch, treble 6, treble 4. Waffly question. You've mentioned the PSP a lot and the Game Boy Advance a few times, but how about the original Game Boy? Do you own one, and what are some games you like in it? I do indeed own an original Game Boy. It's not the original one that I bought. I mean, I was lucky enough, I bought the Game Boy when it first came out. Was it 1989? I think it was. And yeah, I had it for quite a while. But like most things, like all these other systems that I had, you couldn't afford to buy a new system and keep the old one. Anytime I wanted to buy, I only ever had like one video game system at any one point. And so if I wanted to upgrade, I had to fund that by selling it. So I ended up selling the Game Boy. I can still remember the guy coming to buy it, and I don't know how many games, maybe about a dozen boxed Game Boy games. But I picked up a Game Boy, well, maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. Now one of my mates, Joe, his hobby is he mods them. He puts backlights and that kind of stuff on them. He also does the chiptune things. He actually goes to clubs, nightclubs, and plays Game Boys, plays music. It's pretty awesome. But yeah, Joe very kindly fitted a back screen on the Game Boy, and it makes a massive difference. Obviously, you can see the screen a lot better. Now, do I play it very often? Not really. Now, the reason for that, and I've mentioned this before, with new technology, you know, I've got like the GPDXD, you've got the what do you call it? Even the PSP, which I did a video out, put a video out last week, or this week I should say. I can play Game Boy games on modern handhelds. So why would I want to play it on a Game Boy? Because the games look so much better on modern hardware. I mean, playing Tetris on, you know, the GPDXD, the screen's bigger, the controls are better, the sound is better, I say the screen is bigger, brighter. It just looks a lot better. So why would I want to play the original Game Boy? Don't get me wrong, I do on occasion pick up the Game Boy. I mean, I've got an EverDrive cartridge for it, so I've got all the games for it. I do on occasions play it on the Game Boy, and it's pretty much just for nostalgia's sake. It's the same way as I play some games in the Commodore 64. I play it for nostalgia, but some of the games, you know, you wouldn't want to play for any more than 5 minutes. And it's the same with the Game Boy. The Game Boy was a great little console. It still is a good console, but it's been superseded. You know, modern consoles now, they basically piss all over it. And I'm not taking anything away for the Game Boy, because if it hadn't been for the Game Boy, we wouldn't probably have handhelds that we've got now. But if I want to play a game of Tetris, I'll play it on a modern handheld because it just looks better, it plays better, it feels better. So yeah, but I do have a Game Boy. It's upstairs, it's on my shelf. Some awesome games for the Game Boy. So yeah, thanks for the question, Lurch. Next up, down the rabbit hole, Kev. Excuse me. For the Friday Waffle, hi Alan, do you have the Sega Master System, or do you play any of its titles in emulation? Now, I did mention that, I've mentioned that a few times, Kev. I did buy a Sega Master System maybe, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. I had a lot of games for it, and I never played it. Never, ever played it. I think I played it once to test it worked. And the reason I didn't play it, it's kind of twofold. The main reason is I never had a Master System back in the day, so I don't have any affinity, memories, I don't have any emotional attachment to the games or the system. So for that in mind, I don't have any real urge to play them. But secondly, emulation. I mean, the Sega Master System emulates really well on lots of different things, the Raspberry Pi, all the different handhelds and that kind of stuff, the PC. So if I want to play a Sega Master System game, I'll just fire it up on the emulator. In fact, I actually sold my Master System last year. I mean, I'm one of these people, I can never say no to buying. If somebody's selling a system, I'll buy it. But in the last probably 6 months, I've realised, why am I buying systems when I'm never going to play them? So I have downgraded my collection a wee bit, because I don't see any point in hanging on to systems that I'm never going to use. So to get back on track, Kev, yes, I did own one. I don't own it anymore. I sold it. I don't have any nostalgic connection to the system or any of the games, and if I want to play it, I'll use emulators because it's much easier. Secondly, if someone was willing to gift you a Robotron 2084 or Berserk arcade machine, which of the two would you take if you only had space for one? Now, I did look at that question earlier on, and even now I would be hard pushed to decide. I definitely play Berserk more. I mean, I've always said that Robotron was probably my favourite arcade game, but that was before I really discovered Berserk. I really do enjoy Berserk as well. Believe me, that is a tough question. I mean, I'm sitting visualising the two cabs sitting there. There's Robotron there, there's Berserk, and somebody said to me, what one do you want? Ah, man. I think I would probably take Robotron, and the reason for that is because of the control system. It requires 2 joysticks, and I think the arcade controls can't be replicated as well using, you know, non-arcade controls. Whereas Berserk, you know, you can play Berserk quite happily using a normal joystick. I mean, on my main cab upstairs, yeah, I can play Berserk, I can play Robotron in it, I can also play Berserk. But I have played Robotron arcade, and the joysticks, they've got a kind of spongy feel to it. So I think with that in mind, I would take the arcade Robotron, because I can emulate Berserk pretty well. Yeah, I would go for Robotron for that reason, because it needs the 2 joysticks, and the arcade controls are slightly different from the like my main cabinet. So I would go for that. That's a tough question, okay. I mean, I'd love to take both, but if I was pushed, I would go for Robotron. Yeah. Number 3. Have you heard there might be a Sega Saturn Mini in the works? Really? I would buy one. Excuse me. No. I think I tend to find out all the news for video games when I get your waffle questions, Kev. I wasn't aware of that Sega Saturn Mini in the works. Would I be interested in that? I suppose, I don't know. I mean, I've got a Sega Saturn. I would need to see what it was like. I mean, I suppose if it came with lots and lots of games, then I would be interested. I'll need to see. I mean, I've got the SNES Mini, which I happen to think is a really good bit of hardware. Yeah, I wasn't aware of it, Kev. I would certainly be interested in seeing it. I mean, I like the form factor of the SNES Mini. Have I played it since I bought it? Hell no. I mean, seriously, I bought it, I've put extra games in it, and I haven't used it. I've actually played my real SNES more, but yeah, interesting to see what it's going to look like. Talking about minis, I know you, Kev, you've showed me a couple of your little mini arcade cabinets. You get Galaxian, you get Frogger, you get Donkey Kong. They're like the little arcade machine that I showed you a few weeks ago, and I've got to say I would absolutely love to get my hands on a few of them. If anybody knows anywhere in the UK where you can buy them, please let me know. They only seem to be available in the US. I know you can buy them on eBay, but I've been stung with customs before, so I'd be worried about buying any on eBay. But if anybody knows where to get them, please let me know. I would absolutely love to own the Galaxian machine. It just looks absolutely awesome. But yeah, Sega Saturn Mini, I'd be definitely interested to see what it looks like. And lastly, I chuckle when I see young people playing very old arcade games like Lunar Lander, where your money buys fuel instead of lives, or when they can't start an Atari 2600 game because they don't know to hit the reset button. And I'm wondering if you've ever had your expectations be altered when you started a game. Sorry, I'm not quite sure what you're saying there, Kev. I'm wondering if you've ever had your expectations be altered when you start a game. I'm not sorry, Kev. I'm not really with you what you're actually saying here. When your money buys fuel instead of life, so when they can't start, they don't know how to say it. If you've ever had your expectations be altered when you start the game. Sorry, Kev. I'm genuinely not really understanding what you're saying there. What are you talking about? You know, you don't know what a game is, and then when you start it, it's not what you think. No, sorry, Kev, I'm not even going to answer it because I'm genuinely not really getting what you're actually asking. Sorry, Kev, if you maybe explain what you're asking me here, I'll answer it next week. But yeah, anyway, listen, Kev, thank you very much to your questions. I mean, I should probably look at these beforehand, but I never do. I always just like to kind of jump straight in and read them fresh. But anyway, as usual, Kev, thanks for taking the time to answer or to ask questions, I should say. Next up, Bop MC. Hi, Main Meister. Great waffle as always. Thank you very much, Squire. It's always very kind of you to say that. My question is this: do you have an Acorn Electron, and if so, what are your thoughts on it? And have you got any favourite games? I do. I think I've actually got 2 of them, but I don't have any games for it. You know, the reason for that is I don't have any way to load games. I don't own any, and I think, in fact, I tell a lie. I think when I bought it, I got a few games with it, but I don't have any means of loading them. So very sadly, the machines I've got have languished up in the loft. It's like what I was talking about earlier on with the Master System. I should really sell them. I would love, I mean, in an ideal world, I would have a massive basement or a massive games room, and I would absolutely have all these machines connected up to a CRT TV so I could use it. So I don't have any, I've not got any history to an Electron. I mean, I've got a BBC Model B upstairs, which I do use. I've got the SD card thing for it, so I do use that. But I've never really played any games in Electron. I couldn't even tell you any good games. I know my mate, he used to own an Electron before he got his Auric, Auric machine. But yeah, I never use it. I own 2, never use it, never played any games in it other than through emulation when I'm doing the sort of like the arcade perfects. I know from experience of the games I have played, it's basically a cut down BBC. I mean, that's what it was. It was a BBC cut down version that people could actually afford, because the BBC itself was like 400 quid or something. But anyway, Bob, thanks for your question, buddy. Next up, Ian Hunter. Hi, Alan. As you know, it's been a great Spectrum week for me, which leads me to a Friday Waffle question. Now, what Ian's saying there is, I happened to mention a few weeks ago, Ian was asking me, should he get a Spectrum? And I was to convince him why he should get one. And I happened to mention that I also had a Spectrum Plus 2 for sale, and Ian very kindly bought it off me. Was it last week? The week before, I think it was, Ian? And I'm delighted to hear that it arrived safely. I didn't actually have a box big enough, so I had to actually basically sellotape 2 boxes together. I was a bit worried that they were going to fall apart, but I think, as Ian will testify, it was sellotaped to within an inch of its life, so it managed to make it down to Ian's house okay, so I think you're enjoying it, Ian, which is great to hear. Given the success of Elite Dangerous, which 3 8-bit games of the 1980s would you like to see remade for the modern console? Also, which game could be remade for PSVR? We'll see if your choices match my own. Thanks, Alan. 3 8-bit machines. I'm one of these people, sorry, 8-bit games. I'm one of these people, I'm not a fan of remaked games. Is that a word? Is that a phrase? Games that have been remade. I mean, I did an arcade Perfect My Arse for Spy Hunter. I've not actually put it, the video's not gone out yet, it'll probably go out next week. But I mentioned that there was a sequel to Spy Hunter 2, funnily enough, and it was released on the PlayStation. And it's got nothing to do with the original. It doesn't really feel like the original game at all. Another game that came out for modern consoles was Bionic Commandos, believe it or not. It came out for the 360. And again, the only thing it's got in common with the original, you had your telescopic arm thing and it had the same name. You know, I'm not a fan of remakes. I mean, quite a lot of the arcade games that, you know, Track and Field, Galaga, all these games that came out for the Xbox 360, they also included a sort of enhanced version with like seemingly better graphics and better sound, and I don't know, I just prefer the original. But one game that I would like to see, a couple of games actually, in fact I've picked my 3 games already. 3 games I would like to see remade with really nice graphics. I would like to see Exploding Fist with true graphics, you know, keep the same music, same graphics, obviously make it look more realistic. I'd love to see an Exploding Fist remake for the PlayStation 4. I'd like to see what it looks like. The other game I'd like to see would be Whizball. I know Whizball was also released for like the Atari ST and the Commodore Amiga, but you know, they didn't really do much for me. I think the C64 one is easily the best version, but I can imagine I'd love to see a lavishly produced PS4 version of Whizball. And finally, the game I'd like to see, and it's quite it's not a very well known game, Rocket Ball, which I love. I'll put a wee link to Rocket Ball, I'll put a wee video of Rocket Ball playing up the top there. Rocket Ball is one of these games, it's based on the film Rollerball. It's a futuristic sport, and you've got to basically, you go around in circles in this dome, basically fighting your opponent. You've got to try and throw this ball into the opponent's goal. But great game, absolutely loved it to bits on the C64. So it'd be nice to see a really enhanced version of it. Don't add any, I don't want any extra weapons or that, just stick to the original, stay loyal to the original, but just improve the graphics. So yeah, Rocket Ball, Whizball, and what was the other one I said? Exploding Fist. We have the Exploding Fist. I would like to see these released for the modern console. So yeah, anyway, Ian, I'm glad you're enjoying your Spectrum, mate. I hope that tape thing that I gave you is working okay. It's a really good way to get games, to be able to load games. If you're serious about wanting a better way to load games, have a look at the IDE adapter thing. I think I gave you a link to it. I'm sure I did in the email I sent you. But glad you're enjoying it, mate. If you get any problems with it, just let me know. Right, how am I doing here? Right, I've got a few questions still to go. Panther UK, thanks for the answer, mate. I'll stick with the Launchbox. Oh, actually, Chris was asking me about what kind of front end I use for my emulators. I use GameBase. For next week, do you ever listen to Game Chips tunes solely as music while not playing the game? I'm sure my missus thinks I'm weird because I'm a pretty hardcore metalhead, but I also listen to Sid music and modern remakes. I backed a Kickstarter in 2016 for the Ninja Musicology by the Fastloaders, which is a superb rock metal remake of the 3 last Ninja games. Well, like yourself, Chris, I'm into my heavy metal. I like my AC/DC, Metallica, all these kind of groups, Iron Maiden. Yeah, I absolutely do listen to chip tunes. I do listen to Sid music, not as often as I would like. I don't really get the opportunity, but yeah, I will sometimes if I'm reading like my Zap magazine on my iPad. I'll put. I've got a great little. Who's this coming to my door? What is he delivering? I'm not expecting any deliveries. Yeah, there's a great little app. Oh, he's going across the road here. A great little app for Android, and it has Sid music, it has Spectrum music, it has SNES music, it has mods for like the Amiga as well. So yeah, I absolutely do. I love listening to music, and that's, you know, just exactly like yourself. I'm into heavy metal, but I'll quite gladly, listen to Monitor and the Run and all these other classic tunes. I mean, the Sid database, is it the High Voltage collection? It's got something like 35,000 Sid tunes. Just absolutely awesome. But yeah, I absolutely do, Chris. I really enjoy my Sid music. So thank you for the question, mate. I always appreciate it. 2 to go, guys. Refraction, talking of heavy metal music, Refraction PCSX2. He's in a band. I can't remember the name of your band again, mate, but it's a kind of punk heavy metal band. Really good. I've been watching a few of your videos. Really enjoy it. Nice waffle again, Alan. Got a question for Nick's Waffle. Back in the day when you were a young lad owning your Commodore 64, Amiga or whatever system you had, was there ever any game you really wanted but couldn't get for any reason? I don't think so. And I'm ashamed to say it was probably down to piracy. I mean, I bought loads of games. I was quite happy to buy games from all my computers. But then when piracy came along, I mean, you know, your outdoor markets, I spent a fortune going along to these, lining the pockets of the pirates. But all the games that you wanted suddenly became available. So I don't think there was any game that I never got to own. No, I don't think there was. I think any game that I wanted, I made sure I got. I mean, there was probably a few games on like the consoles that I never owned, but I can't think of any offhand. Nah, the thing is, and somebody actually commented on one of my videos. It was one of the magazine look-ats. He asked me how could I afford to get all the games. And the thing for me was, I was an adult. When I got my first computer, my Commodore 64, I bought it myself. I was working. I had it wasn't a full-time job at that point, but within a couple of years, when I got my Commodore Amiga, I bought it myself. I had a full-time job, so I had disposable income. I was still living with my parents, so I could afford to buy games. I wasn't a kid who had to rely on my mum and dad buying games. I mean, my parents never bought me a single game in their life because I was an adult, so I could buy my own games. And so yeah, if there was a game that I wanted, I just went out and bought it. Like I said, there's probably games for the SNES that I wanted and I never got because, I mean, obviously SNES games back in the 90s were like 40 odd quid. But in the main, mate, I never, I bought the game. If I wanted a game, I just went out and bought it. I mean, there were certainly systems that I wanted, like the PC Engine, that I could never afford. I mean, you had to buy an import. I never ever bought any of these machines in import, and I would have killed to have been able to, got a PC Engine. But lucky enough now, I have now got one, which is amazing. So anyway, thanks for your question again, mate. And finally, Mr. Batman. Thanks for answering my questions, much appreciated. For me, the jury is still out on whether I will re-add an Atari ST to the collection. I know where I can get one cheaply, and if I do decide, as you see, it does seem a little like an underpowered Amiga, and the Amiga would generally be my first port of call. Yeah, well, that's what I was mentioning. I always look upon the ST as, and please don't give me a thumbs down for this, a poor man's Amiga. There was nothing on the ST that wasn't on the Amiga. Well, maybe one or two games, but the Amiga basically did what the Atari ST could do, but did it better with better sound. So that's why I eventually sold my ST and got an Amiga. As for the VIC, I believe the cartridge slot isn't compatible owing to the size difference. Yeah, I mentioned that in was it last week's Waffle. I was going to see if I could use my Ultimate 2 cartridge with the VIC-20, but the thing is, the VIC-20's got a different size cartridge port. I did actually remember that because I tried it last year, and I was disappointed to realise that it wouldn't fit. Anyway, my question this week: what power supply do you favour when you use your Commodore 64? Do you use the original PSU or one of the more modern PSUs available on eBay? Generally, do you use original PSUs with your retro systems or modern versions? Possibly, rather naively, I use the originals. That's the one that came with it. It works, so why wouldn't I use it? I know that, you know, technically these PSUs were never designed to be used 30 years after they're manufactured, and I suppose technically from a health and safety point of view it's possibly a wee bit dangerous using them, but I would never leave one plugged on or switched on and then bugger off. I would always use it when I'm actually there. But no, I use the originals. They work fine. So, you know, if one of the PSUs eventually does go, then I'd probably look at getting a more modern one. I notice a lot of people seem to sell consoles without PSUs, and they sell the PSUs separately, which I always think is a wee bit sneaky. You know, why would you sell that separately? Well, they do it because there's money to be made. PSUs go for quite a bit of money. But no, I've got the original PSUs for most of my machines, and that's the ones that I use, and I'll continue to do that until it stops working. So yeah, that's all the questions, guys. Thank you as always for taking time to ask questions. One of the guys, I think it was Neil, he was asking me, I don't think it was a waffle question, he was asking me about whether or when I'm going to do another live stream. Now, I've been thinking about it, and I would love to do another live stream. Now, the reason I've said before, guys, is that the reason I've not done one for a while is I don't have the opportunity. Yeah, I could have done a live stream this morning, but how many people would watch it on a Friday morning? The problem I've got is my wife changed jobs and she no longer works weekends, and weekends was my time. When she was working a weekend, that was my time to be able to do live streams, and even doing like the blind mates only when I interview people. It's more difficult now. I don't really get the opportunity to get the computer to myself. My computer's over there, and you know, I would need to wait for her going out, but I definitely want to get another one done soon. I'll try and tie up with when she's not going to be in. I know it sounds sneaky, but I've got to work around my family. So the first opportunity that I get, that I know my wife and my daughter are not going to be in the house on the weekend, whatever, I'm going to plan to do another live stream. I've done 2 so far, and they're great fun, really good fun to do. I was a wee bit unsure about how it would work, but yeah, it's good fun. You know, I think people quite enjoy watching them as well, so definitely plan to get another one out. Finally, guys, I've got a shout out to do. You know how YouTube recommends videos. This guy popped up on my YouTube feed, and he goes by the name of Lukozer, Lukozer, Lukozer. He's an English guy, and he's probably about the same age as me. Yeah. Now, I've watched a few of his videos, and his channel reminds me very much of my own channel. He basically talks, he just talks about the videos. He's very open and honest, and you know, he likes to use colourful language from time to time. But he also did, I did a video, what was it again, possibly the worst game ever, and it was Greenberry on the Commodore C16, and he did a video about it, and I was absolutely pissing myself laughing. He's really, really entertaining to watch. He's got quite a few subscribers. He's not much less than myself actually. But if you like my channel, you know, I always think, I mean, I am what I am. I just talk and tell you exactly what I think. You don't get any. I don't try and pretend I'm anything that I'm not. You know, I'm open and honest. And this guy is exactly the same. So if you like my channel, I think you might enjoy his channel. What I'll do is I'll put a wee link to his channel down below. Go and check it out. See what you think. If you enjoy it, then subscribe. So that is it, guys. That is another waffle. It's probably a wee bit longer than I wanted to make it, but it was just because I've had the opportunity to make it with peace and quiet. So as usual, guys, thank you very much to all the support. Thanks to all the continued loyal subscribers that I've got. Welcome to any new subscribers. Thanks for, you know, the comments, the feedback. Always do appreciate it. It always makes this worthwhile. Finally, guys, have an excellent weekend, and thank you very, very much for watching. Before you go, a couple of weeks ago I mentioned me and a few mates hired a video camera back in 1988, and we recorded a series of, well, what we thought, we loved Monty Python, so we wrote a few comedy sketches, recorded it on this camcorder, and you know, I've still got them. Now, I think they're actually on my YouTube channel somewhere. I don't know whereabout they are, but you can search for them. But yeah, one of my subscribers, Doug Scullery, he contacted me and he says, look, any chance of letting me, you know, giving me a link to where the video is now. But I had a look, couldn't find it. But what I've done is I've uploaded a couple of the sketches. I mean, the original thing went on for about an hour, but I've uploaded a couple of them. Now, you need to bear in mind, guys, I was 20 years old. This was 1988, as you'll see from the haircut. Now, I was going to put it out as a standalone YouTube video. Now, I never, for one reason, if I put that out there, people would look at it and think, what on earth is this? It's a pointless thing. Why has this guy uploaded this video? I've attached it to the Friday Waffle because I tend to think that the people that watch my Friday Waffle know me. You've been watching this for a while. You know what I'm about. You know my background. You'll probably enjoy it more than if I put it out as a standalone video. You know, if somebody came across that, they would just think, what the hell is this? So anyway, have a laugh, guys. Let me know what you think. It was 30 years ago. Anyway, guys, catch you later.
Are you lonely? Dejected? Sad even? A small piece of tud despoiling the vast clear waters of life?
Eh?
Well, what he needs to alleviate his piss-poor situation is Ronco's new wonder product, Elephant Gun. This 30-06 high-power, high-velocity rifle is just the thing he needs to get the attention he deserves.
Trouble flared this morning at 9 AM after Lebanese students outraged on a 2% cut in bursaries attacked soldiers. Government gave the soldiers go-ahead to use plastic bullets. Government spokesman, however, pointed out...
Triangle face in Beirut.